Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Hood Oracle, aka Karmic's Worst Nightmare, aka the ace up your sleeve with another reading for you guys. Now, we don't know if this is going to be a DM, Karmic, or DF reading. So we're basically going to go by um, the first couple of cards that come out here. So the first card that I pulled was the Lover's card, okay? And with the Lover's card, I feel like a lot of us are at the tail end of this, which is good. It's painful, and there's some what's the word I'm looking for? Regret. There's some regret. But a lot of us are at the tail end of this thing. Okay? You'll know you're at the tail end of the journey when you are completely detached, when you're no longer attached to the outcome. Okay? Um, I've spoken to a couple of people already, and a lot of them are in the same boat that I'm in. Okay? This doesn't stop the connection from being there. Okay? But when you're detached from the outcome, that means you're at the tail end of the journey, which is good. It's good. All right? Now, for karmics that are watching, because I know y'all be watching, this in no way breaks the connection at all. It just means that we're not in a relationship, which really doesn't matter because it's a spiritual connection. Okay? So you can't break a spiritual connection no matter how hard you try. And I don't know how many videos I had to make to this subject before you finally get it through your thick adamantium skull. Okay. The fact that the Lover's card came out to ask this question: what is this energy of separation and detachment? It's actually a positive thing. And when you get to this point, you're whatever happens, you're okay. You know that you are connected to someone. Okay? So whether you're in a relationship or not with them, you're good. You're good. And, as for me, the anniversary of us breaking up, me and my masculine, happened a couple of days ago on February 2nd. I believe that was the Super Bowl. I believe that was around the Super Bowl time, right? Anyway, um, so Homeboy has had a year. There's been no contact, so you have to just really accept things for the way they are. Okay? It's like we've prayed on this, we've read on this, and I'm not, look, also with detachment, you realize you're not in control of this. I wish karmics would realize this as well, but it is what it is. When you're detached from how this plays out, I still love him. Don't get me wrong. I still love this guy. I do. Okay? There's some things that are not quite, that both need to be worked on, from both sides. Okay? And, you know, perhaps a year is not going to do it because a lot of these are ingrained in us. It's like to put a time limit on things, which I had to because I couldn't, you know, you guys know the story of the one that I thought was my twin, the catalyst. I waited for his ass for 10 fucking years out of my life I'll never get back. I'll never get those years back. Okay? So that kind of influenced this decision, right? It's a decision that you don't even, the thing is that you realize that it's not even this a decision that you're making consciously. Okay? It's just something that you're at peace with. If you're fighting it, then you're not quite at the tail end. If you're fighting it. Me, I'm not fighting it. It is what it is. I'm connected to this person. I'll always be connected to this person. Okay, no matter how much black magic is thrown at it, either of us. And, just because we're not in a relationship doesn't mean that the connection breaks. Okay? But for whatever reason, we're being separated right now. And I have to trust God. I have to trust His wisdom in that, it's better to stay separated for right now. Okay? Of course, we can get some intel and find out because, the mind is overactive sometimes. But on the same vein, I have a lot of love to give, and if there's somebody else that's meant to come in whilst this, is kind of purged out of the both of us, we have no guarantee. At least I can only speak for and my masculine. we have no guarantee that this lifetime it's going to purge out. Okay, so to be attached to this and just release, release. The thing is that you love somebody when, even if they're not with you, you want their happiness. You want them to be happy, even if it's not with you. Now, I'm not saying this to puff up the karmic. You know how I feel about the karmic. I've made no bones about how I feel on this channel about the karmic. But you'll see when you have that release. And what I'm getting right now, wow, they're holding on because we're holding on. Say it again. They're holding on because we're holding on. The thing is that when we're holding on to something with two hands, we're not showing trust and there's no flow. It's staticky. The whole connection is full of static. You gotta let this karmic step in her own noose. Okay? You gotta let her fuck things up. Okay? Because pride cometh before a fall. Remember? This is how I'm seeing it play out here. Detachment coming from us. We let go of the reins. Okay? Our hands are already bloodied and bruised from holding on so tight. Let go of the rein. God, I trust you either way. What that does. Now, when you say that, when you just heard me say that, when you say that to yourself, notice how the energy kind of is like liquidy, right? Free flowing. Now karmic doesn't know what to do with herself because she was depending on your fighting to, she was actually, that was giving her food. That was giving her food. We don't have to fight a connection we already have as our birthright. We don't have to fight it, okay? We don't have to fight the people that are trying to come against it. When we're in flow, in balance, in trust, and not just say that we are, but feel it. And a lot of us, as I said, are on the tail end of this. We're okay either way. That allows God to really show himself. Okay? I mean, really show himself. And you'll be amazed at the miracles. Okay? You'll be amazed. Okay? As far as karmic is concerned, she is an energy vampire. We have to not forget that. Okay? So she's siphoning off our energy, our jealousy, our anger, our, whatever negative emotions. It's being used as food and fuel. But when we just flow in where we are, okay, and just trust, it's easier said than done, I know. But when we just trust, look, but you have to be at that point though. Some people that watch this video are not quite at that point yet. And that's okay. That's okay. We're all here on different timelines, okay? But for those that do resonate with it, we're at the tail end of this, okay? When you have no attachment to how this thing plays out, you're kind of just going with the flow. The karmic doesn't know it because the only reason that her spells have worked is because she's siphoning off your energy. When you stand firm as a divine counterpart, okay, as a twin, what royalty do you know is ever pressed by the antics of a court jester like the karmic? So let's get into the reading, okay? So now remember, we started off with the lovers here, so this is not coming from a nefarious source, okay? Whoop. Let me put these back here. I wasn't quite ready for that. Where is this detachment energy coming with this lover's card here? Just give me a minute, guys. Where is this? Or I should really rephrase the question. What do we need to know about this? Wow, okay. Wow, this is going to be a heavy reading, guys, okay? So just be prepared for it. We got the Sun, Judgment, and Death cards, okay? So we're releasing a lot with this. If you're on the tail end of this and you're feeling the way I am, the release is realizing that your masculine is not perfect. He's not perfect. Hell, you're not perfect. Neither of us are. If we were, we already would have been, wouldn't have had to come down here at all to learn these lessons. We would have been chilling up in heaven. Okay? But there's some very, very severe lessons. And also, you have to remember, guys, if you're a twin, you're a generational curse breaker. Okay? So this generational or familial curse breaks with you. Okay? And I feel that that's what's happening here with this sun, judgment, and death card here. So, you know, you don't have to be in a relationship with your masculine to be a success in this union. Okay? You don't have to be in an actual relationship with him to be considered successful. If you're at this point already, you've already attained success. Okay? Because it's clarity with this sun card. We have major arcana here in the first four cards. So these are spirit lessons. Judgment. I should not say not being able. Being able, actually, because you weren't able to before. Being able to call your masculine out for his transgressions and not being afraid to hurt his feelings. Not being afraid of, not being willing to walk on eggshells anymore. You know, emotional maturity means that you're able to take constructive criticism coming to you and you're able to give it to the other person, okay, lovingly. And you know, you accept them for their faults and everything, and they accept you for yours. And that's what emotional maturity is all about. Not what you do when you are emotionally mature is you respond, you don't react. And this is also the big difference, okay, between the karmics and us, because they react, they don't respond. Okay, so what else do we need to know about what's going on with the detached energy that we are feeling right now? We have the Ten of Wands here. Okay, realizing that even though you're part of a twin flame connection, you have all the tools that you need to build a life that you want, whether it's with him or without him. And sometimes, what I'm getting right now, sometimes you have to be the one to start off your life that you wanted to build. Meanwhile, because sometimes it's going to take a while, okay? Meanwhile, you don't know what God is doing to improve that man. You don't know what he's doing, what kind of blessing he's putting on that man. The more he learns, the more he opens up. Now, I wanted to do this part of the reading here. I don't know if you guys know what yoke means. Not yoke as an egg yolk, Y-O-L-K, but the biblical term of yoke or being yoked, which is Y-O-K-E. I'm getting chills as I'm telling you this. Okay, so right now we're unequally yoked. We're unequally yoked with our masculine. So this separation has to happen. You cannot continue to be in a toxic situation. Okay? It's just, you know, think of it this way. As you ascend, as you get closer to God, the divine, okay, you realize certain things, and some things that bothered you before don't bother you anymore. Okay, that's another thing that's part of emotional maturity with this, okay, spiritual maturity. The thing is, you are connected to this person. So what you do, he does. But there is a force that's trying to pull him down and is using this karmic because they have that energy that they need to facilitate this pull down, this anchor, you know, pulling them down into the earth, okay, while you rise up. So there's that separation there, and that is the separation energy that I'm feeling here for those of this group that are resonating, okay? And you're feeling it pull, stretch, like much like when you stretch dough to, like, you know, where the gluten is no longer, you know, stretchy anymore in the dough to make bread, right? As you stretch it, it's going to stretch to a point before it, you know, not that it breaks, because, you know, quite honestly, before that happens, God will reach in and do something to heal that connection, okay? But it's really stretched, right? Okay? Another analogy. When you have a ponytail holder, like a ponytail elastic, right? It's your favorite one, you use it all the time, right? And you use it and use it and use it and use it. You stretch it, you stretch it, you stretch it. Before you know it, the elasticity is next to gone, right? So as the masculine is being pulled down, and this karmic, he doesn't have to be in a relationship with the karmic or connected to the karmic in a physical or sexual relationship, okay? He could be still chilling with people that were connected to the karmic. He could still be talking to the karmic's mother, the karmic's father, the karmic's sister, the karmic's brother, whatever. Whoever is connected to the karmic. They have more loyalty to the karmic than they had to him. Okay? They have more loyalty to that karmic than they do to the DM. So when you see this as there's a centrifugal force, right? I'm getting scientific with you guys, right? There's the connection, right? And then there's masculine side, our side, and both sides are being pulled right now in opposite directions. This is the meaning between, quite honestly, for all of us, of being unequally yoked, an uneven playing field here, right? It's not the same. So while you're rising up, he's being teared down. The thing is that a lot of them chose this. And I do feel, quite honestly, and I'm getting chills as I'm telling you this, God's going to let them fall on their face. Sometimes the thing is that God will do everything that he can to protect us, but sometimes he has to let us fall on our face. He has. Sometimes he will allow certain things to happen so that you learn a lesson, because some people are hard-headed and he knows that. And these DMs are very hard-headed. Look at mine, okay? Very hard-headed. So don't get pulled down with them. If you're detached, just completely detach yourself. There's nobody saying here that you have to talk shit about your masculine or, you start talking down on him. No, that's not necessary. But when you realize what's happening here, the reason that you're feeling such a disconnect is because wherever you guys met at the middle, it's being really pulled. Either side is being pulled. The other side is very invested in keeping masculine down. And if all of us are a chain, right? All of us are links in a chain, the collective. These weak points, sometimes, temporarily, they have to be removed from the link, right? Removed from the chain, I should say. Until it's resoldered and, repaired and everything and, made new again. It has to be taken out, which is why all of us are going through these separations. And a lot of us are okay with it, actually. Okay? Yeah, we may miss them. We'll have bouts of missing them. But you know what? The thing is that masculine has to learn. The longer you stay away, you're teaching us how to live without you in our lives. So remember that. There's no more blame shifting here. None. We're not accepting the blame shifting masculine. We love you, but we're going to be very, very clear about where we are. We love you, but we're not going to wait around for you to make the decision. God pretty much has made the decision for you. Okay, you want to fall on your face, fall on your face. Now, when you're ready to check your ego at the door, I'll be here. Okay? If I could speak for God, I feel like that's what he would say. You can be the prodigal son, like many times in your life, and I'll always be here to pick you up. But you got to humble yourself enough to be picked up. Okay? So let's move on, shall we? So we have these cards here. I'm going to put them on the side here. I have a limited working space. What else does God have to say about the detachment that we're feeling? Interesting. We have the Two of Cups and the Page of Cups. Okay, so I feel with this, it's more so, not so much that they have an ego and they don't want to apologize. They do, but it's like they're more afraid. Gotta give me a minute here, guys. As long as they still have that in them, that they're afraid of looking like a punk, then God's going to keep it separated. It's like We've been through enough as feminines. We don't need this roller coaster. We don't need this merry-go-round. If you're going to come right back around to our lives just to pull the same shit, no. No. They're basically being quarantined. Okay, probably that's um for lack of a better word, okay? It's a spiritual quarantine, okay? Um they're toxic. And when a person is spiritually toxic, they God's going to do what he can to um while this man goes through his 110th dark night of the soul, he doesn't need to lash out at you. I made a video the other day about what Justin was doing to Haley. Okay, this is, hate to say this, but it's true. The karmics kind of take the brunt of the fuckery that's going on within the masculine. It's, you know, I hate to say it like that, but and I don't, even though people like Haley, they're not nice people. It's never nice to hit a woman. It's never, you're a punk if you hit a woman, okay? Um, but I feel it's more verbal lashings and emotional abuse. It's like the karmics are devoid of that connection. It gets lost in translation here. It's almost like these karmics, and this is really the sad thing here. And I don't feel sorry for the karmics, but at the same time, you know, there are times that we do have to pray for them, because God's separating the twins so that the masculine and what he's going through doesn't lash out at the twin, okay? But who's taking the brunt of it? It's the karmic. And the thing is that you would think that, her watching these videos, getting this information, it would cause her to, well, wake up. It's like, this is meant to teach you to love yourself too. You have to learn to love yourself too. So not only are we supposed to learn to love ourselves through this connection with our masculines, okay, and everything that's going through with it, but these karmics are supposed to learn to love themselves as well. But don't forget, who's using these karmics? The devil's using these karmics. The devil is the biggest beast that's devoid of love, devoid of God's love, okay? And for that, he's jealous of us, but I'm going to leave that to my other channel. I'm not going to get into it over here. I'll leave that for a sermon on my other channel, okay? Hurt people hurt people. Remember that. Hurt people hurt people. So you couldn't be around that toxicity anymore. We're about to finish here because we're already 23 minutes in and I have to order some food because my behind is starving. What else does God want to say? Thank you for using cards, Lord, because we're visual creatures and, sometimes we need a visual as to what you're trying to say. So we appreciate Temperance. Alrighty. This, wow, okay. What I'm getting with this Temperance card here, this is teaching you to be balanced. This is teaching you to have spiritual balance. Like, don't be overtly angry. Don't be too meek either. It's like find that perfect balance. And this is basically what's happening with the feminines right now. Okay. The masculines are trying to be balanced out, but a lot of them are resisting. The thing is that even though they have all of the information at their fingertips, some of them don't know how else to be. Some people are, unfortunately, misery loves company. You ever heard that saying? On the same token, some people are so used to being miserable that they don't feel like they deserve any kind of goodness that comes into their life. They will do everything they can to try to fill the hole of where you left. They'll try anything. They'll try another karmic. They'll try, drinking, smoking, partying, carousing, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and, trying to fill that void that only you can fill that void. And to know you is to know his connection to God, because we come from God. God's the one that made this whole thing. Okay, my heart's going crazy. All right, so this is what I have for you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Please keep it respectful or you'll get deleted and blocked. Um, yeah. And if you want any personal readings, my information is in the description box below. Other than that, guys, just, take it easy on yourselves, okay? This is a very, very trying time right now. And just because you're feeling disconnected, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Ask questions. Whenever you're having a feeling, if it's alien to you, ask questions. Is this coming from me? Is this coming from him? What is the root of this? This is what's doing the work is called. Okay? Asking questions. That's all it is. So guys, I love you very much and I'm praying for you guys and big, big warm hugs and thank you so much for listening. Thank you for taking your time to listen and I will talk to you guys soon. Please like, share, and subscribe.